Close your eyes and imagine this world is familiar, yet completely unfamiliar. It is the year 2026, but history followed another path. You do not live in America, China, or modern Europe today. You live inside the Roman Empire, still alive and ruling everything. Yes, that Rome with marble columns and Latin carved into stone. Legions still march, banners still fly, and emperors still command loyalty. The empire that collapsed 1500 years ago never truly fell. Now, open your eyes, because history is about to be everything you believe about power, freedom, and civilization will change. To understand this world, we must return to a critical moment. A single year where everything could have ended forever. The year is 476 after Christ. The Western Roman Empire is broken and barely breathing. Barbarian tribes smash against borders weakened by neglect and decay. The economy is shattered, drained by corruption and endless mismanagement. Roman officials steal openly, while citizens lose faith in leadership. The once mighty legions are no longer truly Roman soldiers. They are mercenaries from foreign lands who barely speak Latin. Rome, the eternal city, stands on the edge of collapse. The emperor, Romulus Augustulus, is only a frightened young boy. He is not a ruler, but a symbol of weakness. Real power belongs to warlords wearing Roman titles without Roman loyalty. Germanic chieftains rule armies while pretending to serve the empire. In our real history, this is where everything ends. The barbarian king Odoacer enters Rome without resistance. He removes the imperial crown and sends it eastward. The Western Roman Empire dies quietly, without glory or redemption. But imagine something different happening in that silent throne room. What if Rome did not fall that day? What if one decision changed the fate of civilization forever? What if Rome adapted instead of collapsing under pressure? Picture the same throne room, tense and filled with fear. The same boy emperor sits helpless on the golden seat. But this Chimi, another man, steps forward boldly. He is not a mercenary or foreign warlord. He is a true Roman general, loyal to the empire, a man who still remembers Rome's ancient strength and values. History forgets his name, but this world never will. Instead of drawing his sword, he speaks unexpected words. He does not call for battle or hire defensive walls. He does not demand more taxes or recruit more mercenaries. He offers the barbarians something no one ever dared. He offers them belonging. He speaks to the Gothic chieftains with calm authority. You want land wealth and respect, he tells them. Then become Romans, not enemies or conquerors. Become our brothers and share our civilization. The Gothic king Theodoric understands this offer deeply. He was raised among Romans and knows their power. His people are tired of endless war and wandering. They desire stability, roads, cities, and secure futures. So they accept the deal that changes history. Within 10 years, other tribes follow the same path. Franks, Vandals, and warriors from distant lands join Rome. They are not crushed or enslaved by Roman force. They are integrated into the empire as citizens. Land is granted in Gaul, Hispania, and Italy. Positions are given in the legions and government, but Rome demands loyalty in return for acceptance. They must speak Latin and follow Roman law. They must worship within the Roman Christian Church. They must raise their children as Romans, not outsiders. Slowly, painfully, and beautifully, they transform. Barbarian becomes citizen. Enemy becomes defender. Rome, let us move forward 100 years into this altered Roman world. The year is 576 after Christ. Rome is alive, breathing, and stronger than ever before. The empire did not freeze in time. It adapted and evolved. The legions still march, but they look very different now. Gothic cavalry thunder across the plains of northern Gaul. African infantry guard Egypt's borders with disciplined formation. Hispanic archers protect Roman ports along Mediterranean coasts. The Roman army becomes a fusion of cultures and strengths. every soldier fights not for tribe, but for empire. The Senate still meets inside the ancient Roman Forum. But new accents echo beneath marble columns and statues. A Gothic senator debates trade routes with surprising eloquence. A Frankish representative proposes reforms to imperial taxation systems. Latin remains the language of power and unity. Rome is no longer purely Roman, yet stronger than ever. Christianity spreads fully and binds the empire together. The church becomes Rome's spiritual backbone across all provinces. The emperor rules with the sword, the pope with faith. Together, they maintain unity through belief and authority. Cities rebuild instead of collapsing into abandoned ruins. Roads are repaired, bridges strengthened, aqueducts restored everywhere. Trade flourishes from Britannia to the deserts of Africa. Markets overflow with goods from every corner of the empire. The darkness that consumed Europe in our timeline never arrives. There is no dark ages in this world, no feudal lords ruling isolated lands from stone castles, no collapse of learning or forgotten ancient knowledge. Instead, Roman schools remain open across the empire. Libraries protect the wisdom of Greece and Rome. Scholars continue studying mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Ancient texts are not preserved. They are expanded. Knowledge grows steadily without interruption or loss. Universities rise in every major Roman city. In Athens, scholars map stars and calculate planetary movements. In Carthage, philosophers debate ethics, law, and governance. In Londinium, engineers design stronger bridges and advanced roads. Rome becomes a civilization of learning and innovation. But peace never lasts forever in any powerful empire. Far from home, something new begins stirring in the desert. The year is 622 after Christ. In Arabia, a man named Muhammad begins preaching Islam. A new faith spreads rapidly with powerful conviction. Within decades, Islamic armies surge beyond the peninsula. They conquer lands with speed, discipline, and belief. In our world, they faced divided and weakened enemies. But in this world, Rome still stands united, and Rome is prepared for war. The year is 650 after Christ. Under the burning Egyptian sun, two civilizations face each other. On one side stands the Rashidun Caliphate's fearless armies. On the other side stand Rome's transformed legions. These are not ancient legions, trapped in old traditions. They learned from every enemy they ever encountered. Gothic heavy cavalry prepares for devastating countercharges. African infantry lock shields, forming unbreakable defensive walls. Greek engineers ready a terrifying weapon unknown to the enemy. The battle begins at sunrise beneath a merciless sky. Arab cavalry charges fast and deadly across the sand. Roman lines bend, but they do not break. Then Rome unleashes a weapon that changes everything. Greek fire erupts from Roman machines like liquid hell. Flames consume the battlefield, burning men and horses alive. The desert fills with smoke, screams, and unimaginable horror. Islamic expansion halts at the gates of Egypt. The Mediterranean remains firmly under Roman control. But the war does not truly end there. It becomes a long, exhausting stalemate lasting centuries. The caliphate controls the east. Rome dominates the west. Two great civilizations stand locked across history's fault line. And from this moment, the future splits completely. Because Rome never fell, Europe never enters a dark age. There is no feudalism, no broken kingdoms, no illiterate warlords. There is only Rome, ruling everything with unmatched organization. One empire stretches from northern Britain to North African deserts. One language dominates daily life across all provinces. Latin is spoken in streets, schools, courts, and churches. Local dialects slowly fade into history and memory. Roman law governs everyone, rich or poor, citizen or newcomer. The legal system is standardized, recorded, and strictly enforced. Roman coins circulate freely from Londinium to Alexandria. Trade moves faster than ever through maintained roads and ports. Knowledge does not disappear into monasteries or forgotten ruins. Libraries remain protected by imperial and church authority. Roman scholars continue Greek, scientific, and philosophical traditions. Mathematics advances steadily without interruption or loss. Astronomy improves as scholars map stars and planetary movements. Medicine develops through hospitals run by Roman and church cooperation. Diseases still exist, but plagues are less devastating. Quarantine systems reduce spread across densely populated cities. Universities rise across the empire as centers of learning. In Carthage, students debate philosophy and political theory. In Athens, engineers experiment with advanced architectural designs. In Londinium, inventors improve aqueducts and public sanitation systems. Rome becomes an empire of scholars and administrators. By the year 1000 after Christ, innovation accelerates rapidly. Contact with Eastern traders introduces new ideas and technologies. Roman scholars study Chinese inventions along Silk Road routes. Printing technology appears centuries earlier than in our history. Books become cheaper and more accessible to common citizens. Literacy spreads beyond elites into merchants and craftsmen. Ideas travel faster than ever across the empire. Gunpowder reaches Roman ports through Eastern trade networks. Roman engineers quickly understand its military potential. Early firearms appear within disciplined Roman legions. They are crude, dangerous, but terrifyingly effective weapons. Rome adapts technology with ruthless efficiency. Infrastructure remains Rome's greatest strength across all centuries. Roads span continents, repaired constantly by imperial engineers. Messages travel across Europe in days, not months. Aqueducts provide fresh water to every major city. Public baths, forums, and amphitheaters exist everywhere. The empire enters a golden age of stability, but stability hides a growing and dangerous shadow. Imagine being born inside this perfectly ordered Roman world. You grow up in Lutetia, not a country called France. Your parents work for imperial bureaucracy and Roman schools. You never hear the word democracy in daily conversation. You memorize Roman law instead of questioning authority. The church is the only legal religion permitted. Roman soldiers march monthly to remind citizens who rules. The empire feels safe, powerful, and unchanging. But slowly, it begins to feel suffocating. There are no rival cultures or competing systems. Architecture looks identical in every Roman city. Food, clothing, and customs are regulated by law. Dissent is viewed as dangerous and the Roman Inquisition hunts rebels, thinkers, and heretics. Public executions serve as warnings to the population. Entire families are exiled for questioning imperial authority. Rome becomes a flawless machine without mercy. And for centuries, that machine continues functioning until the world itself begins to shift again. But then something changes beneath Rome's unshakable foundation. The year is 1492 after Christ. In our world, Columbus sails west, desperate and uncertain. In this world, Rome has explored oceans for decades. Imperial fleets sail with advanced maps, compasses, and Roman ships have already reached Africa, India, and distant islands. Trade flows steadily between continents under imperial control. Then, a Roman admiral sails westward into the unknown. His name is Quintus Mercator, servant of the empire. He commands not 3 ships, but 30 powerful vessels. Engineers, soldiers, settlers, and priests travel beside him. When they reach the Caribbean, they do not leave. They leave. Roman roads cut through jungles and foreign landscapes. Latin inscriptions rise where unknown civilizations once stood. Within 50 years, Roman colonies spread across the Americas. The land becomes known as Roma Nova, New Rome. Indigenous empires face Rome's full imperial might. The Aztecs confront disciplined legions, cavalry, and siege engines. Disease spreads faster than resistance can organize. The outcome is inevitable and devastating. By 1550, the New World is fully Roman. Amphitheaters rise in mountains and across vast plains. Aqueducts stretch across lands never imagined by ancient Romans. Indigenous children are raised in Roman schools. Their languages fade as Latin replaces ancient traditions. Gold and silver flood imperial treasuries endlessly. Rome becomes the wealthiest empire in human history. But wealth creates new and dangerous problems. By the 1700s, unrest grows within Roma Nova. Colonists question why distant Rome controls their lives. They pay taxes to emperors they never see. Local leaders demand representation and self-governance. Rome refuses to listen. Ideas begin spreading through Roman universities. Philosophers ask forbidden questions about freedom and power. What if people could choose their own leaders? The Inquisition responds with fear and violence. Books are burned, thinkers arrested, universities closed. But ideas cannot be killed by force. In 1776, colonial leaders meet secretly. They gather in Novum, Philadelphia, under cover of night. A man named Marcus Libertus speaks boldly. He calls for a return to the Roman Republic. Not rebellion, but restoration of ancient Roman freedom. They signed the Declaration of the Roman Republic. Rome responds with fury and sends the legions. The war that follows lasts 20 brutal years. Battles rage across forests, mountains, and endless wilderness. Roman formations struggle against terrain and distance. Colonists fight not for empire, but for ideals. Slowly, Rome begins losing control. Soldiers desert, questioning why they fight. In 1796, Rome signs peace. Roma Nova becomes free. The empire's moral authority shatters forever. Revolution spreads across the old Roman world. Gaul breaks away and becomes France once more. Hispania divides into Spain and Portugal. Germania forms independent states beyond imperial reach. Rome tries holding everything together by force. But the age of empires is ending. By 1900, Rome rules only Italy and Greece. The eternal empire finally fades into history. Now return to the year 2026. This world looks familiar, yet deeply different. Freedom arrived late, painfully, and through rebellion. Rome gave humanity order, stability, and greatness, but it could not give freedom forever. Rome's fall was delayed, not prevented. And when it finally came, it taught a lesson. Empires demand obedience, not imagination. Progress requires chaos, competition, and new ideas. Rome's collapse in our world gave birth to freedom. Democracy, rights, and modern identity emerged from its ashes. A world without Rome's fall seems peaceful, but peace without freedom becomes a beautiful prison. So, close your eyes one final time. Be grateful Rome fell when it did, because if it had not, you might not be free. Not free to speak, question, or dream. History did not fail Rome. Rome completed its purpose, and humanity moved beyond empire.